Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Now yesterday I was invited onto the This Morning show to debate Rachel Carey, who's a environmentalist, a quote-unquote ethical hunter, and we're going to debate the topic of veganuary. Now from the get-go, the title here of the debate was Has Veganuary Gone Too Far? So you could see the kind of sensationalized way they tried to portray veganuary. Now I'm familiar with This Morning. I've been on there before to debate two dairy farmers. Now what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to react and respond to some of the points that were made in the debate. Now I want to get some things clear. I only was allocated 7 minutes for the debate, 7 whole minutes, so we didn't have long. So I knew I had to get my points in. Otherwise they would overtalk me, and you know, I know what happens on TV. They like to overtalk the vegan and not really get too much of the vegan's perspective. And it happens sometimes, not all times. So I had that in the back of my mind. Now there's already been a scourge of sensationalized tabloids, you know, attacking me. I was angry, I was aggressive, I was interrupting, whatever. I had a no-nonsense approach to this debate. I don't regret a thing. I'm gonna go through this and talk about some of the things maybe I could have said better, and some of the things she said we can elaborate on. And I'm just going to go through that now. Let's do it.
Last year, meat sales fell by 184 million quid, so a lot less of us are eating meat. And part of this is due to the rise in veganism and campaigns such as Meat Free Monday and, how do you say this?
Veganuary.
Veganuary,
I think that's how you say it.
which is now January. Veganuary, okay? So
yeah, that's when people pledge, don't they, to go vegan for this month.
It's a bit of a taster of veganism.
But a lot of people are asking the question, has veganuary gone a bit too far? Is it time we started sticking up for the meat industry?
Only someone who supports animal cruelty and the worst animal abuse on earth and animal murder would ever stick up for the meat industry.
Well, we're joined this morning by vegan activist Joey Armstrong, alongside proud meat eater Rachel Curry, who actually hunts and kills her own meat.
Proud meat eater, you're proud to eat innocent animals' bodies, and you hunt animals. So from the get-go, she's an animal murderer and an animal abuser, period.
Guys, good to see you. Before we begin, I just want to explain to people what veganism is. It is a lifestyle that avoids all animal foods such as meat, dairy, eggs and honey, as well as animal-derived products such as leather and, as far as possible, products tested on animals. Fair enough?
Yeah. We avoid the exploitation and cruelty to animals as far as practically possible. Yeah.
Okay. And is that something that you feel people should aspire to as the world changes, as we're aware of climate change, as we're aware of better health? You think this is a good thing?
Yeah, of course it's a good thing. If you're against animal cruelty, animal abuse and just killing innocent animals and breeding them, exploiting them, then you, by default, should be a vegan. I think Veganuary is an amazing campaign. There's no sinister intention behind it. It seeks to save animals, to help the environment. It's an insane use of our resources to grow all this food to feed to animals and then kill them and take a small morsel of their flesh. And it's a positive campaign.
How long have you been a vegan?
I've been a vegan for 6 years and I'm healthier than ever.
And what made you want to become a vegan? Was there a point in your life?
Weight loss originally. I was clinically obese, and then I found a diet to lose weight. I come across a raw foodist who talked about the power of fruits and vegetables. I lost a significant amount of weight, and then I connected to the karmic sort of ethical sense of killing animals, and I didn't see any good coming out of that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be a hypocrite anymore.
Joey, it's interesting that twice as many women do it as men.
I think women are more connected to their emotions and more connected to their compassion, and men are just, there's more stigma.
Some women are connected to their compassion. I'd say majority of women are more connected to their compassion. Not the one sitting beside me, though.
I say twice as many women. That doesn't mean all women, including the one beside you here, who we're now going to talk to, and this is Rachel. Rachel, what's your view on veganism or veganuary?
Well, I have nothing against anyone's personal choice, how they choose to manage their health or, you know, what they choose to eat, basically.
Eating animals is not a personal choice because the animal is being tortured and killed so you can eat them. Nothing personal about that.
But I also feel like I have the right to choose as well what's best for me.
You have the right to kill little baby animals. Okay, that's best for you. It's not best for the animals though, is it?
The interesting thing is I actually was a vegetarian when I was younger for the same amount as you.
Vegetarianism has got nothing to do with the moral principle of veganism. Vegetarians still exploit and kill innocent animals, dairy cows and chickens in the egg industry. It's got nothing to do with the moral principle of veganism.
for the same amount of years as Joey's been a vegetarian.
I'm not a vegetarian, I'm a vegan.
So for 6 years I was a vegetarian. It didn't work out for me for health reasons. I became really quite anaemic and quite poorly when I was little.
Well, that's just an anecdote.
I had a really low immune system.
That's an anecdote. We have the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, one of the most credible organisations on health on earth, and they say that a vegan diet can be healthy for all stages of life, including infancy,
There's
pregnancy,
quite a
adulthood.
few in the media recently where...
So, like, look, yeah, I interjected. I don't need her spouting her nonsense about health. We have credible organisations saying you can be healthy on a well-planned vegan diet. So what she's spouting is pure nonsense, and I cut her off.
And quite a few famous influencers as well have had the same effects, where
That's
it's
an
just
anecdote.
not working
That's not
out
science.
for their health.
It's absolute bullshit. Big deal.
They've actually changed back to a meat-based diet.
But would you accept, Joey, that you would have to plan your diet a bit more
All diets
carefully?
need to be planned. Are you going to go out and eat sausage rolls and burgers and Pringles? All diets should be appropriately planned. Now, your solution, I think, is for the 66 million people in the UK to go out and hunt wild game.
Absolutely not. That's
So what is
not
your
my
solution?
Well, this is ridiculous. This is a person who promotes hunting for environmental reasons, for ethical reasons, but she's sort of backpedaled here for the debate, which is crazy because she's got this book promoting hunting. She promotes hunting all over her social media, but she's saying she's not promoting hunting as the solution, which that's all she advocates for. So she lied. She was dishonest to appear impartial in this debate, to appear more likable, which was very sneaky of her.
I don't have one solution. There's not
we
one
do.
size.
We
There's
do.
not one size fits all.
We do have a solution to the majority of the animal torture and killing that's happening, and it's called veganism, okay?
My view is that there should be a balance. There should never be an extreme of one. I wouldn't encourage everyone to eat meat, and I certainly wouldn't encourage everyone to eat plants.
Why not?
I think there are... I'm a chartered environmentalist, and I know that there are environmental impacts against both of the extremes. I believe in balance. I believe in people having choice.
Notice how she said, like, she wouldn't encourage everyone to eat plants, but didn't give a reason why? Why wouldn't you encourage everyone to eat plants? What is the problem with eating a full plant-based diet? Where's your evidence?
But I also totally agree with your views on animal welfare.
Are you opposed to animal agriculture, conventional animal agriculture as it stands?
So what she's saying, she doesn't want extremes of both. So what she's saying is she's advocating people eat plants and eat meat, which is exactly what everyone's already doing. So she's arguing for the status quo. She's not arguing for change at all. She's acting like she's an environmentalist. She doesn't really want change. She just wants everyone to eat what they want and not extremes, not full plant-based, not full meat, just meat and plants like people already do. What's that going to change? Nothing.
I am opposed to factory farming,
Okay.
and I am opposed to poor animal welfare standards.
So why do you oppose Veganuary when it seeks to boycott those
Joe,
industries?
what about people who say I'm a responsible meat
Why do
eater,
you-
which I would
why do you-
assume,
one
that,
sec.
Rachel, that's what you would say.
I'd also like
Let me
to
ask her
say,
why
I
she
think-
opposes Veganuary when Veganuary seeks to boycott the industry she claims to be against.
Okay, so the point I was trying to make here, before this interviewer tried to cut me off, was that I was trying to get her to agree. I was trying to get her to tell us that she opposes, conventional animal agriculture, which she says she does. She opposes factory farming and poor animal welfare, okay? So what I wanted to get from her was why she opposes Veganuary, which seeks to boycott the same industry she's against. So I made a point of reiterating this question.
Because she believes you can eat meat and promote animal welfare at the same time.
Ooh, a hypocrite, hey? How can you eat meat and support animal welfare? Can you rape children and support child welfare? Can you bash women and support women's welfare? Can you hunt down whales and support whale welfare? Come on. Am I the only person in the world who thinks this is insane?
So I do also, I might also say, I don't oppose being a vegan.
That's a lie. First, she says, I don't want people to eat exclusively plants. I don't encourage extremes. And then she's saying, I don't oppose people being a vegan. Well, what do vegans eat? Plants. That's an extreme in your view, but you're saying you don't oppose being vegan?
And I oppose anything which kind of encourages people to take a militant view on anything and go out there and disrupt.
Now she's saying she doesn't support anything that encourages people to be militant. Now, she wouldn't be saying that back when women didn't have voting rights and they were trying to fight for women's right to vote. Were they too militant, were they? People fighting for civil rights, were they too militant, were they? If I was defending a child from being abused, would I be too militant, would I? No,
We have really hard-working British farmers. The UK actually has some of the highest animal welfare standards in the world.
That is nonsense.
You
There's been
attack
so many
people's livelihoods.
exposés. I've been in slaughterhouses myself. I've been out the front of gas chambers in Manchester hearing pigs scream for their lives. High welfare slaughter is a fairy tale. That is nonsense.
And this is where I just could not sit there and let her spout nonsense about high welfare UK farming. Absolute load of garbage. I've been in UK farms. There's been enough exposés of UK farms and slaughterhouses now. That is absolute garbage, and she shouldn't be allowed to sit there and spout that nonsense.
Joey, I reckon that us as consumers, there's a complete disconnect when we go to the supermarket.
Exactly
Yes.
right. You're correct.
That we see stuff in packets and we don't ever think.
Have you seen
that
a slaughterhouse lately?
I have never been to a slaughterhouse.
Exactly.
No.
And that's why I'm so passionate,
I
because to
think
hear
you would
someone
agree
say
with
high
that,
welfare...
So no one there on that panel, on that lounge there with me, has ever been to a slaughterhouse, has ever stood at the front of gas chambers hearing animals beg for mercy, has ever been on a dairy farm hearing cows mourn for their lost children. These people are completely disconnected, except for the lady sitting next to me who goes out and shoots innocent animals.
It's impractical. I think it's impractical and it's not fair to
Hunting's
force.
practical?
I think we should... No,
Hunting's
I didn't
practical?
say that.
So what's
it's
your solution?
absolutely not
we have
practical.
a solution.
So this is the insanity here, where she's saying veganism isn't practical when it is. She's out there advocating that people go buy a 400-pound rifle, learn how to target shoot, and shoot their own partridges, shoot their own deer, and drag them home and gut them and butcher them.
Can I ask, how do you know that you've shot them and it's not hurt them? Because you want to do this because you say it's better that they're in their wildlife and in their own environment. But how do you know that this isn't going to be like a more painful procedure for them?
Quite simply, you would not take the shot unless you were 100% certain. And also, there's a lot of training involved. I'm not going out there, and neither is anyone who deer stalks or hunts in the UK, just indiscriminately out there looking for whatever. People go through training. So it was a couple of years, quite a few years, before I touched live quarry, and I trained. I shoot on the range, so...
But on the show here, she's completely backpedaling. No, I don't advocate that. Yes, you do. Go on your website. What book do you sell? Okay, it's all about hunting and gathering and going out and shooting.
You created your own cookbook, your recipe book, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm so passionate about trying to get, more people to consider game in their diets, in their weekly diets. It's more ethical. The animals have lived a much nicer life.
But on the show, she's like, no, I don't advocate for anything. I'm impartial. Anyone can make a choice and do whatever they want. We have the solution. Veganism.
I think fostering high animal welfare standards is absolutely the way that we all should go. I think
Not
it's
killing them is
fantastic.
welfare.
It absolutely reeks of hypocrisy that someone who goes out and shoots animals is dare talking about animal welfare.
I think it's fantastic that people are thinking more about what's on their plates, whether vegan, vegetarian or meat eater. I think we should all strive to just have a better awareness.
You know what?
It's
making
not
a practical
to force
decision in the supermarket.
everyone.
Choose soy milk over dairy milk. Choose tofu over beef.
Can I ask
Choose
you a question,
plants
Joey?
over murdered animals. That's a practical solution. Going out, getting a gun and shooting a deer in the head like you do is not a practical solution for the working class in the UK. We're offering potatoes,
no one
beans
said
and
that
legumes.
it is. I'm not trying to force my view on anyone. I'm not making a month called, Meaty March or anything.
You're promoting
and
your
trying
book,
to-
which is promoting
trying to
hunting.
force
You're promoting your way of
everyone.
life.
The funny thing is this lady, she brought her book onto the couch next to me, right? And she was going to have the book in her hand while we were debating. So she's not promoting her way of life when she was going to promote her actual book on the couch next to me. Don't give me that shit that you're not promoting hunting to people all across your Instagram, all across your social media. But here, on the couch, she's acting like, oh, I'm not promoting or forcing my beliefs. I just force bullets into deer.
Which is not practical for the whole population. We're offering
I
a
haven't
solution
said
to
it has. And neither is a pure plant-based diet.
Plant-based
especially not for
diets can
working
reduce the
mums
farmland on Earth by
who might be
75%.
Now, yeah, I'm interrupting her. Big deal, okay? I'm interrupting her. I'm not letting her speak sometimes. I'm making sure I get my points out. 7 minutes is all we have. I don't apologise for that. If you're looking for me right now to apologise to anyone for interrupting her, then I'm not, okay? I'm an animal defender. I defend animals. She's an animal abuser. She shoots animals. She's promoting meat eating. She's opposing Veganuary, which is a positive campaign. I'm not going to sit there while she spouts nonsense. You're looking at the wrong activist.
We can reduce
Surely.
farmland on Earth by 75% if we adopt a vegan diet. That's from Joseph.
Can
Moore
you
of Oxford
can you answer me the
University.
question of how many animals die to protect your crops that you eat?
Uh-huh.
Or
An
how many
appeal to
animals
hypocrisy.
die? How many animals die, and how much
I can
biodiversity
tell you that.
dies?
Let me answer you.
When we clear rainforests to grow your crops.
Most of the crops are fed to animals in animal agriculture. 90% of the soy, the majority of cropland is fed to animals in animal agriculture.
I've never
So
seen
that-
a cow eating an avocado
excuse
or a
me, they eat
jackfruit.
hay, they eat grasses, they eat grain. Pigs eat grain. 90% of the pigs in the UK are factory farms. So all of those crops are going to animals.
She's saying I've never heard of a cow eating an avocado. She tries to drop the crop deaths thing on me when we're talking about a serious issue of billions upon, that's actually trillions of animals being tortured and killed. And she goes, well, what about the crop deaths thing? Even though most of the crops are being fed to animals in animal agriculture. And she's trying to be real smart here, and she doesn't really care about the solution to the problem of animal torture. She just cares about, making me out to be a hypocrite, when the only hypocrite standing on that stage is the person who claims to be an animal lover but goes out shooting animals.
Okay, if you eat the plants directly,
No,
we
all
have,
of the
we
crops
have
in the world are
magnitudes
not
less
going to
cropland.
animals.
75% less farmland used if we
How
adopt a
would you
vegan
describe?
diet.
How would you describe
70
what you?
75%, that's Oxford University, Joseph Poor. So this is a non-argument.
Now I'm just referencing the landmark study by Joseph Poor at Oxford University. You can check that out for yourself. The Guardian made a really good article about it, but that's all credible research that I'm referencing.
So there's a farm called Knepp Farm which fosters, it's gone right back to organic and old-fashioned farming. They've actually found that livestock farming encourages...
See there it says kills her own meat. Why don't they just say she murders animals? Kills her meat? Meat isn't an animal. You can't kill meat. Meat's the part of a dead animal. Why do they say kills her meat?
a massive increase in biodiversity. They've actually brought animals which were extinct.
The number one cause of
in that
species
geographical
extinction is animal
area.
agriculture. The number one cause of species
extinction is loss of habitat, and the number one cause of
Deforestation
loss
to
of
grow-
habitat is deforestation.
to grow
cause-
soybeans to feed to animals.
And to feed vegans.
So she's proving my point here, kind of. She's like, oh, deforestation is what's driving species loss, and habitat loss and species extinction. And, what's the number one cause of Amazon deforestation? Last time I checked, it was animal agriculture. The reason we're deforesting land in Australia and Brazil and everywhere. The UK's all been deforested so we can graze animals and we can grow grasses and hay to feed to animals. I mean, what the hell is she talking about? The number one cause of species extinction is animal agriculture. She's saying that animal agriculture helps biodiversity and helps return species to their natural habitat? No, not at all. The complete opposite.
Angry about this.
It's
And
such-
almost-
should be.
Yes,
The
yes,
earth is being
but almost
destroyed,
like
animals are being
It's almost like
abused.
you can't hear the opposing view.
Because it's nonsense. Crop deaths is
But
nonsense.
that's not
Now, of course I'm angry. If you're not angry, if you've seen a gas chamber lately, have you seen animals being tortured and killed, are you going to let someone spout some nonsense about crop deaths to you, like after, sometimes I just don't have the patience for these nonsense arguments, and I knew exactly what this lady's agenda was. So yeah, 7 minutes. I was trying to make sure I got my word in.
Yeah, crop deaths are nonsense because most of the crops are being fed to the animals that people eat.
Do you have a dog?
Oh, here she comes. She drops the dog bomb. Do you have a dog?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm a travelling activist and I don't have a dog. What's this?
I just wondered if you had a dog, and if you
you
had
have
a
a
dog,
dog?
what you fed it. Yeah, I have 3.
So why do you shoot other animals and not your dog? How do you claim to be an animal lover and shoot deer in the head?
I don't shoot deer in the head,
Where
first
do you
of all.
shoot
I
them?
actually shoot them through the heart because it's the quickest,
Okay.
most ethical death.
Shooting someone in the heart is ethical?
So here she tries to throw the dog thing onto me, like, do you have a dog? And if I had a dog, what do I feed them? Do I feed them meat or do I feed them vegan? But really I threw it back on her and said, do you have dogs? And then she look on her Instagram, she's got all these lovey-dovey pictures with her dogs, but she goes out and hunts other animals which feel pain and suffer just like her dogs. But how would she like it if someone then shot her dog through the heart? It's more ethical to shoot someone through the heart, apparently. And how would this lady like it if someone hunted her down and shot her through the heart? I'm sure she wouldn't think that was ethical then. If someone shot my family member through the heart, I wouldn't think that was ethical, even if it was a quick death. I'd bloody be looking for him. That's what I'd be doing.
do you consider, have you ever sat with a wildlife biologist and discussed the effect that it would have on the environment if we just left animals to?
No one's suggesting that we just leave animals who are in captivity in animal agriculture, spread them out to the wild. Once we phase out animal agriculture, we can look after the animals that are left, okay? But it doesn't mean we should exploit them and kill them and shoot them and hack them up into pieces and make jackets out of them, does it? We can guard them, be guardians to them, make sure they are okay. But I don't know where shooting them comes into it, or exploiting them for their milk, or killing their children comes into it.
Number
We've
one
always
cause of
been
ocean
part
dead
of the
zones,
food chain.
deforestation, water use, land use is animal agriculture by far. Nothing comes
So
close.
do you
The science is
understand
very
what would
clear.
happen to a woodland and the ecology in that woodland and the biodiversity?
So it's like she's really not letting me finish my points either. So we're both not letting each other finish points. We both are being quite competitive here. But obviously I don't hold the popular view, so I'm going to get slated by the media. But she didn't let me finish my point either. So what? It was a heated debate. This is how heated debates work, okay?
If we just left deer unmanaged
If we
to
stop
run
deforesting
free,
land to feed animals grain, the biodiversity would return.
You do realise-
Would we have to deforestate to feed humans then?
We've already got enough farmland. Like I said, if we all adopted a vegan diet, we could reduce our farmland by 75%. That's Oxford University saying that.
So going back to net forest as an example, you do realise that forest is not actually wilderness. Before that, we had megafauna in the UK, which were wild horses, elk, and lots of other different species, actually a wild cow, which are now extinct, but they created a biodiverse landscape more than woodlands.
So I let her finish her point there, and I don't even think she made a point. Like, what has that got to do with anything? I really... What?
What's that
So
got
if
to
you
do
look,
with the
so if
topic?
you're, but if you're a
What's that got
wildlife
to do with
lover and an
opposing
animal lover,
Veganuary?
surely you would support biodiversity.
I don't support shooting deer in the head.
So, and that's
And I don't
your
support
view.
killing animals
That's
for
your
food.
view.
It's against my values and against...
Just finally and briefly, if anyone in this Veganuary feels they'd like to give this a go, but they don't want to totally convert,
Yeah.
what are the small steps? What are the initial things that you would recommend people to do?
Now, at this part here, I think I would have said something a little bit different. I had a chat to Paul Bashir about this, and he made a very good point to me, and I think he's very much correct on this. I started saying, like what he was saying, if people don't want to convert, what are some small steps they can take? Now, instead of that, I could have said something like, hey, you know, veganism isn't something you try. You're either against animal cruelty or you're not. If you purchase animal products, you are being a hypocrite. You are supporting animal abuse. So if that isn't motivation enough for you in the supermarket to make the moral choice, I don't know what is. Okay? But instead, I started rattling off things people can do, practical hows, and what they can do in the supermarket.
A practical solution for the whole population here in the UK is to choose soya milk or rice milk or oat milk over the dairy milk, or to choose plant foods, which are healthier for you, cheaper in the supermarket for legumes and grains and beans and vegetables, and just make decisions in the supermarket when you go to buy, you know, your meat and dairy.
And form that connection again as to where your food comes from. Joey Carbstrong, thank you very much indeed.
So yeah, I could have left the audience with something more provocative, holding people more accountable for their choices to, you know, purchase products that enslave and kill animals. I think making people feel more accountable is what will be the catalyst for them to change, and not giving them like a how-to spreadsheet, more giving them the motivation to work it out. And I'm sure when they're in a supermarket, they'll find the vegan options. But yeah, that there was the debate. I'm also going to make a video responding to the media scourge, putrid, tabloid, sensationalized junk newspapers that have been just splurting out garbage, defending this animal abuser. You know, they're defending the meat industry. You know, it's nothing new. So I might respond to those articles too. But you know what, like, yeah, I don't regret this debate. Do I think the publicity was bad? I don't know. Like, are any of my points invalid because I was quote unquote aggressive? I wasn't aggressive enough, okay? If you've seen it, like, what is aggressive? Is this lady buying a gun to shoot baby deer? What's aggressive is gas chambering innocent pigs. What's aggressive is raping cows in the dairy industry and stealing their young and murdering them if they're a boy. That's aggressive. You ever seen chicks get macerated in the egg industry? That's aggressive, okay? How I defend animals is how I defend animals. If you want to be an apologist, apologetics in the corner, that's you. That's just not me. I'm not going to sit there with some animal abuser who's clearly an anti-vegan online on her social media, who puts on this smiley face for the camera, who says, oh, no, I don't care, live and let live. I don't want to infringe my lifestyle on anyone. I don't want to force my opinion. But online, she's mocking veganism. She's hashtagging vegan in all her posts. She's posting the pictures of her dead animals she's murdered. You know, I'm not going to sit there and put up with her nonsense. I don't care if we're on TV or wherever. Okay, so that was my response video to this. You know, if you've got an opinion on how I should advocate, why don't you just advocate that way yourself? and you know, I'll stay in my lane, you stay in yours. I'm defending animals. I disrupted that show, okay? People are going to be talking about veganism. They're going to be talking about animal rights. I had a discussion with the host, Eamon, afterwards, and he said, you made some very valid points. And I said, you know, I'm sure you're against animal cruelty and animal violence. Why don't you know, make some good choices when you're in the supermarket next if you're against all this violence that happens to animals? And he looked at me with you know, he sympathized with my position. And I don't know if he's going to make any changes, but he definitely thought I made valid points. So you can either attack my conduct, you can attack how I acted, aggressive, I interrupted, how rude, whatever. They're just ad hominem attacks. You're just attacking my conduct. If you can't attack the message because the message is solid, what are you going to do? You're going to try to shoot down the messenger. I'm too used to this now. I'm too used to this. I don't care what you think about my conduct. What do you think about what I am saying? Listen to the points I am making, okay? If you're not vegan, you support animal abuse, okay? It's time to stop being a hypocrite and be vegan. That is the point. If you have blood on your hands when you purchase steak that was torn off the body of an animal who didn't want to die, okay? It's time to be consistent. Stop paying for animals to be murdered that you claim to care about. That was the catalyst for me to change, and that should be the catalyst for you to change too. Okay, so that was the video. If you want to check this video out in its entirety or respond to it yourself on your channel, I'll leave it linked down below. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for those who support me. If you don't support me, I'm still going to be defending animals. I'm here for the animals at the end of the day. And peace to you all, and I hope if you're not vegan, then you make the moral choice and become vegan. Thank you very much.